unconstructed, unsuccessful, demolished, and forgotten buildings, structures, and architecture. This is a design for an aerial sky airport bridge. The idea is to build a series of towers and then build a large aerial airport bridge on top of these towers. Or you build this giant sky bridge on top of already existing buildings. This is a very interesting and futuristic idea. It's very economical. It will save a lot of space. The only problem with this is the noise that the airplanes will make. It will be very noisy, the planes flying and landing above. But it's very interesting. The noise is the only problem I see with this, unless they find a way to silence the engines of the planes. This was never built. This is another utopian urban city design. The idea is to build identical look-alike buildings in the form of a cross, a plus or an X. Square buildings, cross buildings, plus buildings, or square towers, plus towers, X towers. The idea was to build a perfect unanimous utopian city or community. The style of these buildings is called brutalism. Brutalism is an architectural style that is the opposite of the glass buildings. Brutalism consists mainly of reinforced concrete buildings or even granite buildings. This city was never built, and this design was never implemented, and this plastic model is all that's left of this proposal. This is another monument dedicated to Christopher Columbus, or to Galileo. The idea is to build a giant metal frame, a metal monument, in the form of a U or a horseshoe, and on top is a giant globe with an eagle. Here we have a false globe again. Christopher Columbus and Galileo and others like them were responsible for the globe deception, for the sphere deception, or for the orb deception. We do not live on a globe, orb, or sphere. The Earth is flat, with a giant dome on top. This monument was never built, but even if it was built, it would be a monument dedicated to lies and deception. Because the Earth is not a globe, it is a flat disk with a dome. This is another mansion, another Gilded Age mansion that was never built. This one is from 1895. I really like this one. You can see here it's sliced off. Part of the house has been slashed off. Very interesting and unusual. It's like a castle mansion. Again, it's like a mansion castle. Like a mini mansion castle, a mini castle mansion. I do not know this mansion's name. I have another picture like this one. This could have been someone's house. This could have been someone's home. But instead, this drawing is all that's left of it. This is another monument proposal. This is a monument dedicated to the Industrial Revolution. The miracle of the Industrial Revolution. The idea is to build a giant monument in the form of a metal motor or machine engine, a machine motor, a machine engine, as large as a mountain, overlooking the city, town, community below. This monument was dedicated to the miracle of the Industrial Revolution, which revolutionized everyone's lives, for better and worse, but most of all, made it inevitably more complex. This monument was never built. This drawing, it's all there's left of it. This is how it would have looked like if it was actually implemented and built. This is a grandiose architectural plan from the Soviet Union. The Third Reich had their grandiose architectural plans, and so did the Soviet Union, but not as much as the Third Reich. This tower is called the Palace of the Soviets. It was supposed to be a giant vertical tower designed like a cake, with levels and layers, and each level and layer being thinner than the previous. And on top, a giant statue of Vladimir Lenin. If this was built, it would have been the tallest structure in the world. But the Germans invaded the Soviet Union, and this was never built. I have several different versions of these. Here is another version of it. This is a horizontal version. Again, the Palace of the Soviets was never built. Only drawings are left, as it is often the case with grandiose architecture from a lost, unrealized world and a possible future. This is another Gilded Age mansion that was never built. Similar to the previous one, this one is from 1895. It has a very unusual blocky roof. This mansion is large. Again, this could have been someone's house, someone's home. But this drawing, it's all that remains of this building. A phantom, a ghost, never built, never born, and never constructed. It's just a memory now. It's just a memory in my computer. This is another monument that was never built. I'm not sure whose idea this was. Maybe American, British, or French. By the looks of it, this is 100 meters tall or more. This is probably some sort of monument dedicated to peace, liberty, and victory, and freedom. But it's never built because it doesn't exist anywhere in the world today, indicating that it was never built and the project failed. This drawing is all that's left of this proposal. And finally we have this mansion, another Gilded Age building. I really like this one. You can see the left side or the right side of the building, depending on where you stand, is sliced off. It's like part of it has been slashed off. This is a 4 or 5 story building. I really like this one. I like the stairs, the tall staircase. I'm not sure if this was ever built. I think not. I like this one. This was somebody's home or dream home.